This show is brought to you by the Genesis Communications Network, a world leader in talk radio since 1998. Visit GCNLive.com today.
The stocks discussed on Wall Street Raw are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering on acting on information, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice.
What kingdom has sent you?
The kingdom of the Most High.
Nothing you have ever experienced can prepare you for the unbridled carnage you're about to witness. Super Bowl, the World Series, they don't know what pressure is. In this building, it's either kill or be killed. You make no friends in the pits and you take no prisoners. 1 minute, you're up $500,000 in soybeans, and the next, boom, your kids don't go to college and they've repossessed your Bentley. Are you with me?
The Genesis Communication Network is proud to bring you Wall Street Raw with nationally recognized market timer and previous Wall Street Week elf, Mark Leibovit, welcoming you on board his financial time machine. And here is the elf himself, Mark Leibovit.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Wall Street Raw. I'm your host, Mark Leibovit. It's Saturday, March 26th, and we're doing a Easter weekend, Good Friday show for you. A lot of our contemporaries are off for the weekend, but we forged ahead here. It was a shortened holiday week. Markets were closed on Friday, as you probably know. In fact, in Europe, I'm told there may be some closed markets on Monday, an extended Easter holiday. Still, the markets move on, and there was a lot of action last week in the markets. In fact, on Friday, even though it was a holiday, Good Friday, the government released gross domestic product reports. And in summary, I don't really go for the report so much. As you know, if you read my newsletters and you follow me on the radio, I'm a bit of a skeptic with regard to government economic reports. They're revised. The rules are changed midstream, and they're not really that reliable. We've talked about this ad nauseum. The unemployment numbers are distorted. The real unemployment numbers are probably up there at 15%, and we're told they're 4.9%. The real world is, manipulated a bit, basically political. It's Wall Street taking the upper hand, and just not something that we go for. But officially, they said there was an increase in real GDP for the fourth quarter. I think it was 1.4% versus the 1% annualized pace. But also in the report, we found out on Friday the balance sheets of U.S. companies weakened during the quarter, supposedly. They're telling us corporate profits plunged 11.5% in the fourth quarter from a year ago. So it may be worse than that. I believe during the big sell-off that we saw in 2008 and 9, that the profits had dropped like 30%. So the comparison, I guess, was more favorable as compared to what happened in the 2008-2009 period. Meanwhile, the recent news of bombings in Brussels, our hearts go out to those who suffered, but unfortunately, more suffering may lay ahead because strategy really hasn't changed in this country, and Donald Trump and Cruz's call for restriction of the monitoring of Islamic communities is probably necessary. So it's not politically correct. But when your family's lives are online, you got to think about those things. So we're supportive of the Cruz and Trump directive in that regard. People are hoping for a change to come with a new president, and the question is whether the Republicans would even get in, and if Hillary takes over, it's going to be more of Obama politics and more Obama economics, which have not been favorable. But, there are those who say, and I have interviewed others who say, gee, look, the stock market did well under the Democrats, and even though you may disagree with economic policy or with how offshore political events are managed, including, the Mideast, that still stocks were higher, and they're happy with their portfolio. So some people don't look beyond, what's in the bank account or what's on Wall Street, and maybe ultimately that's how people are going to vote. Particularly with all the social service programs out there and the Democrats supporting that. So you just never know how it's all going to turn out. But, our job here, and has been for the last 35 years doing this, is, you follow the markets. And as long as the market's integrity is there, there were moments back in 2008-9 where there was rumors that, banks were going to close, people pulling cash out of the market, that the system could be potentially compromised. In that type of event, of course, the markets are not a safe place. Cash in the mattress or physical assets like gold or real estate may turn out to be the better place to be, but assuming that the financial integrity of the markets are still there, our job is to try to trade and find some of those opportunities. And in that sense, we had a terrific week this week. There are a lot of, even though I'm a little bit more cautious on the markets, we saw some nice gains. One of our big gains, a spectacular gain for us. And, again, we talk about a lot of stocks on the show, and you have to do your own homework on these things. But one of our big winners of the year occurred earlier in the week. It's a company called GW Pharmaceutical, GWPH. We're not currently long the stock, but we may get long again. But the stock opened up, I think it was on Monday, up 50 points. And we were long for both ourselves and for the clients at vrtrader.com, and that's where I'm directing you now. If you want more information about what I do, you got to go to vrtrader.com. We have a whole series of newsletters there, from our gold letter to our platinum letter, which covers individual stocks, to our vice letter, which covers the name like I just gave you, GW. Why? Because GW is in the medical marijuana business, and it's a $30 stock that went to $80 overnight because the FDA had given some indications that they're moving forward with the approval process, even though it hasn't been totally approved yet. So I've been a big supporter of this as a growing industry, whether you agree with it or not. The medical marijuana, cannabis is a growth area. There are a lot of action, a lot of other stocks, which I'm not going to go over with you at the moment. We don't have time, but we had a nice move this week in several lower price names in that same sector, and it's something that we concentrate in the Vice letter. So if you go to vrtrader.com, you can look that up and subscribe to the Vice letter and learn a little bit more about this exciting area where there's opportunity. And that's really what we're trying to do, is gold moving, our defense stocks moving, our bonds moving. Look, this past week we saw the Dow utilities into new record highs. So the utilities were actually the best sector to be in the past several months. Money's looking for a safe place to go, and interest rates really haven't gone up, even though we're told they've gone up. We know they're down in Europe, they're down in Japan into negative territory, and the story goes on and on. So the flight of safety drew money into the utility stock. So, again, our job is to try to find, where the action is, and sort of move in that direction. And whether it's in medical marijuana, whether it's utilities, whether it's gold stocks, whether it's in fact, I've talked about the cement stocks, because if Donald Trump gets in, or even Cruz, there's talk about building a wall across Mexico, and research that I've done says that's going to be a boom for the cement companies, or companies that are in the construction business. So if that event actually unfolds, that's a place to be. It's not something you would commonly think about, but, potentially tremendous opportunity there. So we've been writing and talking about that in our newsletter as well. Well, today we have an interesting show. I'm going to have my friend Paul Langley coming up in segment 2 talking about I Insure Me, which is more or less a business opportunity for those out there looking for a way to generate extra income, and we're looking to make money, so we'll talk about that as well. My good friend Sinclair Noe will be with us on segment 3. We're going to be talking about, the Fed, and about all the jawboning that's going on out there with regard to whether they're going to raise rates, not raise rates. It's back and forth. It's really a circus, but that's a whole other story, and we'll get into that as well. And then we're going to have a very special guest, Stephanie Kammerman, on segment 4 from the Stock Whisperer. And I met her at a recent money show, Traders Expo. She sings a little bit, and she runs a very interesting chat room talking about the stock market. So stay tuned, and we'll be back with all 3 of them here. And thanks for joining us here at Wall Street Raw.
You're listening to Wall Street Raw with Mark Leibovit. Go to wallstreetradio.com for information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't pick on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS.
If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
Is negative content or comments on the web affecting your personal or professional reputation? Unfavorable comments, embarrassing pictures, videos, legal documents, and negative articles can ruin your personal life, your career, or your business. It happens a lot, and it's just not fair. But what can you do? ReputationDefender.com can help protect your good name. Get a free consultation now. Call 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Call right now for a free expert reputation analysis. It's easy to squash the unfair attacks with our patented system, and the analysis is absolutely free. Make the best things about you jump out in searches. Protect your personal and professional reputation, your business, and your income. Get your free reputation analysis from ReputationDefender.com right now. Call 800-831-0771. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com today.
Are you looking to sell body armor? Want to make extra money selling body armor at your local gun shows? With low minimum buys and great returns, Katie Armor is the answer. Make money in your spare time. It's American-made body armor with the quickest turnaround in the industry, which means you get your product when you need it at very competitive rates. And they'll ship it to you for free. If you own a business, give them a call today at 855-488-KATIE. That's 855-488-2284. Or go to KatieArmor.com. Come and take it.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Think positive. Never show any sign of weakness. Always go for the throat. Buy low, sell high. Fear, that's the other guy's problem.
Welcome back to the Wall Street Raw radio show with Mark Leibovit, your time machine for the financial markets. Want to know more? Go to wallstreetrawradio.com. Now, here's the elf himself, Mark Leibovit.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw on the Saturday morning. I'm your host, Mark Leibovit. I know you have a lot of other choices on a Saturday morning, and we're happy that you decided to tune in here at GCN for Wall Street Raw. We have an exciting show for you today, and one of the first things we're going to cover this morning is my good friend Paul Langley over at I Insure Me. We've had him on the show before, and it's a way of presenting an opportunity for those out there looking for extra income. There are other ways besides the stock market to make money, of course, and we look at a lot of business opportunities on this program. We've done that over the last several months. And this particular situation intrigued me, and I'm considering doing it myself. And it's involved basically all of us need to buy property and casualty insurance for our homes, or definitely auto insurance. And this is a way where you can actually make money by selling insurance that everybody absolutely needs, doing it from your home, possibly part-time, becoming an agent. And, at the very least, you sign up and you can earn a commission on the insurance you need for yourself, even if you don't sell it to anybody else. So with that regard, I'm going to introduce Paul Langley, and he's going to describe the program to you. Paul, thank you for joining us today.
Hi, Mark. This is Paul Langley, CEO of I Insure Me. Thank you for inviting me to your show. In just a moment, I'll share with you why we call the opportunity with I Insure Me the most common sense approach to building a true, long-lasting residual income. But first, I want to talk briefly about financial goals. Having been in the financial planning arena for the last 20 years, I've come to the conclusion that when it comes to financial goals, we all have basically the same idea. We'd like to grow our assets to the point where they can generate income sufficient to sustain our lifestyle, whether we choose to continue working or not. The more traditional route would include 401ks, IRAs, IULs, real estate, anything where a person would contribute funds, typically on a regular basis, to purchase assets with the hopes that those assets grow in value, and hopefully enough to outpace inflation. Then there's what I like to call the entrepreneurial route. This is where somebody builds a business that at some point can either become self-sustaining, producing an ongoing income without the direct involvement of the business owner, or where the business can grow large enough such that the business owner can sell it for a profit. Under this business umbrella, we find everything from brick-and-mortar businesses like insurance agencies, accountants, and attorneys. You've got franchises that include fast food, carpet cleaning, education, just about anything you can imagine. And then finally, under this umbrella, we find all sorts of home-based businesses. Without going into a lot of detail, I think it's fair to say that there's a lot of garbage out there in this final category. People touting incredible, almost unbelievable income claims, marketing products that do everything from curing heart disease and cancer to losing weight by eating candy. Now, you may laugh at that last one, but it actually exists. I'm not here to say what works and what doesn't work, but I think most people would agree with me that the majority of home-based business opportunities are filled more with hype than with any realistic way of building an asset to create an ongoing income, what people in the home-based business world commonly call residual income. There's a phrase I've coined called the business litmus test question. It's what allows a person to determine if an opportunity is truly a viable option for creating that ever-elusive residual income, or if it's nothing more than just a money game. Here's the question. Would anybody purchase this product or service at its current price, even if there were no opportunity involved? In other words, is this a consumer-driven opportunity or a hype-driven opportunity? At I Insure Me, we show people how to take a mandatory expense and turn that into a growing residual income. There are an estimated 89 million homeowners and 220 million drivers in the United States, the majority of which are required by law to have some form of insurance coverage. What some people may not know is that every month you make that insurance premium payment, your insurance agent is getting paid. This is probably the truest form of residual income that I've ever seen. Now, don't get me wrong. Being a home and auto insurance agent is not easy. You make little to no money in the first 2 to 3 years that you're in business. You get to deal with customers calling you at all hours of the day and night, and you get to handle mounds of paperwork. You see, the traditional agent will work 50 to 60 hours per week for 5 to 7 years to build that residual income. And quite frankly, most agents don't make it. But those who do make it have basically built their retirement. Would you work hard for 5 to 7 years if you knew you could retire at that point? I think most people would say yes until they try it. As the saying goes, if it were easy to do, everyone would do it. At iInsure.me, we have structured a model that both simplifies and speeds up this process. We can show anyone exactly what it takes to build a full-time residual income in as little as 10 to 15 months, working about 5 to 10 hours per week. If you'd like to know how we do that, please get a pen and paper ready for a phone number that I'm going to give you. We have put together a 20-minute introduction video that explains all of the details of our program. If you like what you see, you'll be able to schedule a one-on-one phone consultation with one of our in-house representatives. To get a link to the video, please call our 24-hour message line at 520-485-0717. Again, that number is 520-485-0717. Everyone you know pays for home and auto insurance because they have to. Why not show them how to turn that expense into an income? It's been my pleasure to share with you the most common sense approach to building a true, long-lasting residual income with the iInsure.me turnkey agency opportunity.
Thank you, Paul. And as I said at the top of the interview, I'm in the process of signing up for this myself because I know a lot of people that obviously need insurance, a lot of clients for my newsletter and so forth. And, you know, why not earn a bit of a commission at the same time, even if it's just for your own policy? So great side business opportunity here and something you need to check out. Again, the number to call for information is area code 520-485-0717, 520-485-0717. Stay tuned on Wall Street Raw. I'm your host, Mark Leibovit, and we'll be back with you with Sinclair Now.
Go to WallStreetRawRadio.com for more information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at WallStreetRaw.com. At WallStreetRaw.com, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth, help you avoid the next big market crash, and also stay healthy to enjoy your wealth. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of the Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to WallStreetRaw.com and sign up for his free weekly Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free Gold News Raw report. You will receive both weekly, and both are totally free. No credit card information is required. Sign up today for your free Vice News Raw and Gold News Raw reports at WallStreetRaw.com. That's WallStreetRaw.com.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
What would your life be like if you woke up each morning with new vitality, feeling better than you have in years, and you noticed a difference in your sleeping patterns, blood sugar levels, and had a sense of well-being overall? There's something that is changing thousands of people's lives, and you could be one of them. It's called Heart and Body Extract. Sharon Harris, co-creator of Heart and Body Extract, talks about the positive effects of Heart and Body Extract.
What happens with the formula Heart and Body Extract is it's giving the body the necessary vitamins, minerals, amino acids, enzymes, and phytonutrients so the body will heal itself. And yes, the body does have the ability to balance blood pressure, balance cholesterol, clean and unclog the arteries. It can also work on balancing the circulation for diabetics. So the body is an amazing thing. It simply needs some help so it has the tools to heal itself.
Heart and Body Extract gets results. To order your 2-month supply, call now, toll-free at 866-295-5305. Order online at hbextract.com.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Blockit Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockitPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockitPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockitPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
Against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet anything that is thy neighbor.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw. Want to know more about Wall Street Raw and the Leibovit VR newsletters? Go to wallstreetrawradio.com.
Welcoming back my good friend Sinclair Noll from 1510 KFNN Phoenix and author of the great blog EatTheBankers.com on the Saturday morning here at Wall Street Raw. Sinclair, 2 Federal Reserve officials said interest rate increases may be warranted as soon as the central bank's meeting next month.
I think we've actually got more than 2 now.
Oh, we have more than 2 now?
I think so. There's Charles Evans, James Bullard. I believe John Williams got on board as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So as soon as they opened their mouth, the market topped out. And we had a little bit of a pullback here the last few days. And I suspect if the market has a significant pullback, we're going to see quotes coming in the opposite direction next week.
More than likely. That seems to be the case. A week ago, of course, the Federal Reserve had their FOMC meeting where they cut their forecast for the economy and cut their forecast for interest rates from 4 down to 2. And the feeling was that the market volatility had beaten down the Federal Reserve. The global situation had made the Fed a bit scared. Mm-hmm. No real signs of inflation. So they were backing off, and the markets loved that. And then after that, you've got the Fed policymakers all coming out and saying, no, we might very well raise rates again. I'm not sure what in the heck they're doing. I'm not sure if they're remaining credible through this process, but I think they're trying to, tap dance on a very thin line and just not let the markets get too far ahead, but at the same time, not really beat the markets into submission either. It's a tricky situation that they're dealing with, but if you're in the markets right now, if you're involved in the economy, what are you supposed to make of what the Fed's saying?
As I said, probably 2-3 months ago, I felt it was a political move, pressure from Wall Street, maybe the banks, our friends at the banks, higher interest rates, help them on their profit margins, a little bit of pressure to get rates up, even though the rest of the world is doing just the opposite. Mm-hmm. Just very, very confusing. So politically, they're being pressured to move rates up because they've kept it at zero too long. There are too many complaints about that type of strategy, and whether they actually pull it off or not is to be seen. But it's amazing the way they keep manipulating these stories, this jawboning, I call it, constantly. And it drives you nuts. Now, technically, the market, as you say, we had a 2,000-point rally in the Dow since the February lows. We're due for a pullback. Sell may go away. The whole issue is now hitting it. Is the Fed just seemingly accommodating the cycles in the market by doing what they should be doing this time of year? But why all this jawboning? It just, I'm playing it technically, of course, and I know you look at it that too, but why are they doing this? It's amazing.
Part of this is, yes, the big banks are just licking their chops at the prospect of higher interest rates. They get net interest margin. They get to play that spread there. And they would really love to play that, where they can start charging a little bit more for their loans while not paying out nearly as much, taking advantage of that lag. At the same time, you've got these other central bankers around the globe that are doing this big accommodation push. And if the Fed is too easy right now, I think part of their fear is that it makes it too accommodative globally. But it's just a real tricky little act. I think there's a chance, and we haven't been talking about this very much, but there's a chance that if all this accommodative policy out of China, the ECB, Japan, finally starts to grab hold and the economies there start to pick up, then the reasonably sluggish economy that we've seen in the U.S. would be still the prettiest horse in the glue factory, to borrow a phrase. And we could be looking at a situation where, inflation does pick up. And then they feel like they're behind the eight ball. It's a tricky situation right now, but one thing is very, very clear. If you've ever had any wonder about it over the past roughly, 6-7 years now, the markets are moving based upon Federal Reserve intervention.
Rigging.
Yeah, well, yes. To be more precise, rigging. They've been rigging the market, certainly. We've seen it since the 2008 crash. And that has been, I think, the major motivating factor in the equities markets and other markets as well, ever since then.
And if we go to negative interest rates, assuming that even happens here, that's going to help equity prices even more. The only place you can put your money would be equities. That's what's driven the stock market rally, as you say, for six years.
You would think, but, then that's new territory as well. And whether negative interest rates work or not remains to be seen. That might scare some people. It's a tricky situation going between scaring the markets and just a little bit of uncertainty and not really knowing what they're doing, that jawboning that we have from them now.
Now we have commodity prices improving in the last few weeks. Gold has been moving up. We've seen crude oil have a technical rally, so that inflation scenario that you just raised might have some merit.
I think part of the reason for the FOMC decision to say, hey, we're not going to go with 4 interest rates had to do a lot with the commodities markets, specifically energy markets. I think there's still a pretty big concern out there that a lot of the big energy players have a whole lot of debt And if we see rates go up without seeing the underlying asset go up, we could be looking at a ton of defaults that could really shake some of the big financial institutions.
Starting with the Deutsche Bank in Europe.
Absolutely. Starting with some of the European banks, but I think there'd also be some shock waves going through the American markets as well.
Right. So we'll have to see how all that plays out. Sinclair, as usual, we always run out of time when we're just starting our conversation.
It's always good to see you, though, Mark.
Okay, and we're talking to Sinclair No, author of the EatTheBankers.com blog and a commentator of 1510 Phoenix KFNN. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Yeah, with Obama starting his presidency with $10.6 trillion in national debt and just about 200 days away, actually 230 days away left in office, there's a good chance that the debt will be north of $20 trillion. The question is whether the Fed's taking this into consideration or not. So with the current number over $19.1 trillion and the government telling us there's only a $500 billion deficit, this may not make much sense, but neither did the government adding $339 billion to the national debt one day after the budget deal that was signed in November. So a chain of events that would cause this number to skyrocket could be triggered by a stock market crash, war, we know we're at war, deeper global slowdowns, and government interventions. And as I mentioned to Sinclair a few moments ago, we do have the cyclical picture to take into consideration this time of year. Sell may go away, and tops have been coming into April. We've just experienced a 2,000-point rally in the Dow Industrials. So don't think it's a time to be chasing stocks, but maybe on a bigger picture basis, these comments are irrelevant. But we saw the similar pattern after a big sell-off in August, a big rally into December, and then the market came off again. So stay tuned. We're going to have a very special guest, a little entertainment for you as well, with Stephanie Kammerman from the Stock Whisperer.
You're listening to Wall Street Raw with Mark Leibovit. Go to wallstreetrawradio.com for information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week Elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at wallstreetraw.com. Here, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth, help you avoid the next big market tsunami, and also stay healthy to enjoy your wealth. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of his Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to wallstreetraw.com and sign up for his free Vice News Raw report. You will receive it weekly, and it is totally free. No credit card information is required, and no one will call. Sign up today for your free Vice News Raw report at wallstreetraw.com. That's wallstreetraw.com for your free weekly report from Mark Leibovit and wallstreetraw.com.
Something shocking just happened in a Coast Guard unit in San Diego. The old guys in the unit have turned the tables and are now destroying the young bucks in head-to-head fitness tests. How is this even possible? Turns out the old guys in this unit have been part of a special test group for a doctor-formulated fountain of youth drink called Patriot Power Greens. Patriot Power Greens has been so effective for many of the older soldiers that it's made their achy joints, stiff muscles, and lack of energy a thing of the past. Previously, this drink was only available to elite military units. But for a limited time, the creator of Patriot Power Greens has set aside a small number of free sample packs specifically for our conservative friends. But you must act fast. Due to the high demand from members of the Coast Guard, our supply is extremely limited right now. To claim your free samples of Patriot Power Greens, go to greens75.com. That's greens75.com. Greens75.com.
Are your Google search results killing you? Unflattering content in blogs, news articles, online reviews, social media, or other sources can jeopardize your reputation, your business, and your livelihood. Let Reputation.com help. Our patented technology will make the truth about you more visible while pushing down unwanted negative content. Improve your Google search results. Call Reputation.com at 1-800-831-0771 for a free consultation. That's 800-831-0771.
As if chlorine in our water weren't bad enough, now they're adding ammonia?
It's true. Some municipalities are now adding ammonia plus chlorine to your water supply. It's a disinfectant called chloramine. But with a trusted Big Berkey water filter, you can keep chloramine out of your water. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show EPA Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market. The gold standard in water purification. And our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one mixed powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
There is no freedom without the law.
Get it? Got it? Good.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw and the final segment with Mark Leibovit. Now, here's the elf himself.
Welcoming a very special guest this Saturday morning, Stephanie Kammerman to Wall Street Raw. You're listening to a piece, Don't Let Wall Street Knock You Down, by Stephanie. But Stephanie, remarkably, is a great stock market analyst and trader, in addition to being an accomplished singer and songwriter with BMI. And we're going to play a little bit more of her music a little bit later. Stephanie has trained thousands of students worldwide how to day trade and swing trade over the past 22 years, and she's manager and founder of the Stock Whisper Trading Company. And she runs an online educational trading room called the Java Pit, and I listen to it every morning now through the courtesy of her sending me those videos or tapes, and it's really exciting to listen to what's going on. And she talks about following the dark pool, which is how she spotted the last 9 correction weeks, and before they happen, her popular Whisper of the Day YouTube video, which I just referred to, has achieved a 93% success rate over the past 2 years. Good morning, Stephanie, and thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me, Mark.
So tell us a little bit about the Stock Whisperer and the important dark pool, which is really the big subject that you emphasize in your analysis.
Yeah, traders started to, they actually gave me the nickname the Stock Whisperer because they thought that I had a crystal ball, right? I mean, I was calling a lot of things every single day. In fact, I was calling quite a few corrections before they happened. And I'll be honest with you, I am not psychic. I may be highly intuitive. I've been trading for 23 years now, but my secret really is following the dark pool. That's where 40% or more of the total volume that is being done right now across the market is being done in this dark pool. which, most traders don't even know about, right? Or they've heard about it, but they're not quite sure what it is. And, it's been around since the beginning of time. In fact, it used to be called the upstairs room back in the day, where only the elite clientele had access to it. But over the years, it's become very, very popular. And, it really is just a network. It's an alternative exchange that allows traders to buy and sell large orders without running the risk that other traders are going to see their hand. And they're not revealed until after they're completed. And this market, this is how Goldman Sachs and Barclays can sell 20 million, 40 million, 100 million shares of the SPY, okay, without showing one trade. They don't have to report anything until their entire order is filled. And this is how they sell everything at the top. Now, it's very manipulating. In fact, they don't have to report it usually for like 3 hours later. Mm-hmm. But what I started seeing them not being reported until the next day. And, and this was quite shocking. And, how they can sell millions of shares and not report it until the next day or sometimes 2 days later. And, then I took that manipulation and said, hey, if they're hiding all these orders, right, we can profit off of this. And this is really how I've spotted the last 9 corrections before they happen. I spotted them hiding, selling and hiding these orders. And, they're able to do so because they do a trade in New York from their New York desk to their London desk. And they don't have to report the trade until the next day. That's how they get around that loophole.
So it's really the smart money at work. I talk about this all the time in my work. It's the big buyers and the big sellers that we don't really hear about, and how they can really confirm or trigger a move. That's very interesting. So how do you access this dark pool, Stephanie?
Yes, exactly. You know what? There's 2 companies. Everybody always wants to know that. Where can I find this? There's a lot of different software companies don't have access to dark pool data feeds. But there are quite a few that do. So Charles Schwab, Street Smart Edge, does have dark pool data feed, and also Lightspeed also has dark pool data feed. And these 2 companies, I use their block trade indicator. And if you follow me on Twitter and StockTwits, I'm constantly all day long taking pictures and posting it up there to show and teach everybody. And it was a life-changing moment for me, when I realized that I was getting all this dark pool data feed. Years ago, I used to trade on what was called an infinite machine, and it was the first dark pool execution computerized platform. But I worked for a very big prop firm, but I didn't know it existed until about 5 years ago. One of my traders in my room said, hey, Charles Schwab and Lightspeed has this block trade indicator and has all this dark pool data feed. And we started to see all these late sell prints and late buy prints. I know when a correction is over because we see the big guys buying but hiding those orders until the next day. And they're getting in big. I mean, we're talking 20 million, 40 million. And these are all late. We've seen insider trading by seeing the dark pool. And, what's really odd that we noticed this week, on Monday, we noticed millions and millions of buy prints coming in the dark pool on the TVIX. TVIX, that's the fear ETN. So when markets are very nervous, when traders are putting protection on, they'll go out and they'll buy the VXX, which is another vehicle, or the TVIX. And I spotted the biggest prints, the biggest trades I've ever seen on the TVIX on Monday, and that was a day before the terrorist attack in Brussels.
Remarkable.
Yes. I took pictures. It's all on Twitter. And, that really spooked me out, Mark. I mean, I see a lot of stuff, but this was definitely the spookiest prints that I've seen in a very long time.
I remember getting negative volume before the 9/11 attacks in my own work, so there's that old conspiracy theory out there that people know things ahead of other people, and we don't like to admit that, but that's part of the business. Stephanie, we ran out of time. You're going to be in Vegas in May for the Money Show. Everybody can see you there, and they can look you up at thestockwhisperer.com, correct? That's how they find you?
Yes, exactly. You can find me there.
Thank you. So we're talking to Stephanie Kammerman from the Stock Whisperer. Look for her in Vegas. Look for her at thestockwhisperer.com. And we're going to hear a few more seconds of Stephanie's music here in just a moment. The Don't Let Wall Street Knock You Down. Thank you again for being with us, Stephanie.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you so much for that. And I think I have to learn how to sing. I think that's really one of my shortcomings here. I need to get a orchestral arrangement together and sing about the stock market the way Stephanie just did. That might be the key, because we know from the famous people in Wall Street, Granville and so forth, that entertainment and information is important. Anyway, thanks for joining us here on Wall Street Raw. As Ed Hart used to say, we will know in the fullness of time. Speak to you next week.
Thank you for listening to Wall Street Raw with nationally recognized market timer and previous Wall Street Week Elf, Mark Leibovit. If you missed any of today's show or to get in touch with Mark, please go to WallStreetRawRadio.com. Any stocks or investment discussed on Wall Street Raw are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. We first recommend you seek out a licensed financial professional for advice. Go to WallStreetRawRadio.com for more information on Mark's newsletters and products.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at WallStreetRaw.com. At WallStreetRaw.com, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth, help you avoid the next big market crash, and also stay healthy to enjoy your wealth. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of the Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to WallStreetRaw.com and sign up for his free weekly Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free Gold News Raw report. You will receive both weekly, and both are totally free. No credit card information is required. Sign up today for your free Vice News Raw and Gold News Raw reports at WallStreetRaw.com. That's WallStreetRaw.com.
Hey everyone, with 20 plus years as a radio host, I've seen about everything. One thing that keeps recurring, though, are these timeshare charlatans. These high-pressure salespeople who get folks to come out to some resort for a special weekend offer. Then they get them in a corner and browbeat them and coerce them into buying a timeshare they don't need, they don't want, and they can't afford. And then they're stuck with that thing forever. Monthly payments, mortgage payments, annual fees that keep going up and up. Well, up until recently, people thought they couldn't get rid of these things. You know, you can't get out of the contract, you can't get out of the deed or the membership. Well, that's not true. My friends at American Consumer Credit, a timeshare release company, can get you free. That's their personal guarantee. 12 years in business, free consultation, A-plus rating with the BBB. They're the real deal. You want to get out of your timeshare contract? Call them now. 800-587-EXIT. That's 800-587-3948. 800-587-EXIT. Call now. 800-587-3948.